Why do people value, including hairstylists, value aesthetic treatments more than hair services? And what I mean by that is, like, when people get eyelash extensions, like 10 years ago, people were paying at a salon that I worked at $300 for a full set of eyelash extensions. And then to maintain those, they would have to come in for a fill between 2.5 to 4 weeks. And they would pay, I think it was $160 for a fill. Meanwhile, at the time, I was working in the salon doing hair, and I'm pretty sure my most expensive haircut was $50. And a short haircut, I believe I was charging $34 for. This is 10 years ago. So, like, why is it that hairstylists charge so little when other, like, vanity services or aesthetic services are higher priced but don't last as long? So, like, I can go get a full foil and not get a full foil for 4 to 6 months, and that will be let's just say $160 for, like, something that lasts 4 months. Or I could pay $300 for something that is going to need maintenance in a month. And I'm not saying there isn't expensive hair services out there. There is, but the majority of the industry has not matched inflation by any means for many years. And most stylists that I have talked to, asked questions, observed, they're not comfortable raising their prices more than $5, like, every, they certainly don't do it every 6 months. Most of them do it every few years, if not maybe every year. They'll raise it like $5, and they will be like, I'm not sure if I should do it, and will my clients leave and that. Let me just tell you, when you raise your prices, there's different things you can do so that you don't lose your clients that aren't going to take away from you but will benefit you. So, for instance, a few years ago, I completely changed the way that I was charging for my services. And I put valuable services on my menu as a test. Like, I wanted to see, will anyone book this? Like, if I put a $360 haircut on my booking, will anyone book that? Or are they just going to pick, like, the mid-range services? But I did 3 tiers. So I did, like, I wish I had actually my old services to look at. I'm pretty sure I had 75, 175, and then 360. And my 360 haircut was like a 2.5 hour long haircut. It was a combination of razor and scissors. It included a scalp and shoulder massage, also like a long consultation. And honestly, it just didn't have really a time limit on it. And it was amazing. Like, I got to connect with my clients on a level that I had never before. And the amount of appreciation I got from my clients, like, so validating and empowering as a creative human being to actually get paid for your art for what it's worth. And, like, on top of it, I was providing emotional support in a lot of ways. I think hairstylists do this naturally, and we just don't validate it or, like, call it out to what it is. But a lot of clients view their hair appointments and their hair services as therapy, and so I was getting a price that actually, like, felt equivalent to what I was giving out at the end of the day, instead of me doing the same amount of work for people. And honestly, I was doing that for years and just not charging what I needed to, and then I would be left with a discrepancy of energy for myself and even financial, like, support. I'd be paying for people's services out of my own pocket, especially chemical services. I did that, and it took me years to really look at the books and be like, oh, I am paying for my clients full highlights and color in between $10, like, I'm taking out of my appointment. Like, I worked for free, and I just decided to stop doing that and try different ways, because I hate the way the hair industry like traditional way of running it works, it's broken in my opinion. It's not reasonable. It makes people very sick. It burns us out. It takes away from the value that we actually provide as people that provide hair services and emotional support to our clients. Like, we are providing a relationship, and people value that relationship. They need to value it financially too. Like, it just has to be like, you feel so good when you actually charge what the value of your service is. And you might think, well, no one's going to pay that where I live. It's just not true. That is something that a part of you is telling yourself. There's always someone in your area that can afford your service, that is looking for a higher paying service, that's looking for a quality service. They will definitely pay you for that. The people that came to me, my clients in Seattle, especially, like baristas. It's not like they were Amazon crowd. It wasn't like a big, like, people that aren't making $300,000 a year weren't paying that much for a haircut. Like, it was baristas, retail professionals, some tech people, but very few and far between. But the baristas are the ones that were like valuing the service, that valued the 2.5 hour appointment, that were equally as gracious to me as I was to them. Like, I felt like if I'm going to charge $360 for a haircut, I've got to like really bring it for this service. The thing is, I was just able to be me and myself, to be like, give myself an actual, bandwidth to be creative, not putting myself into a box of like, I need to have this haircut done in an hour and 15 minutes and get to know this client's hair in that time. Like, I can't get to know your hair in 15 minutes. I'm sorry. Like, a 15-minute consultation is absolute crap to me. Like, I can be in an hour-long consultation with someone. It could be a haircut or a chemical consultation. And like 45 minutes in is where I get like the detail that I would have absolutely missed if I only had a 15-minute conversation with the client. I would have got details on the hair history, their needs, their dislikes. Maybe the client won't first come out and say like, I just had a really terrible hair experience. A lot of people won't just like say that, and it takes like a little bit of time of like being with them for them to like say like, hey, like, I actually just had a really bad terrible hair experience, and that's why I'm coming to you. I've had that happen quite a few times, and the client doesn't start out saying that. It's like 30 minutes into them feeling comfortable and gaining trust with you that they feel they can actually express themselves. And so, yeah, I think that having like an hour-long consultation before you even work on someone is truly dignifying. It's just really dignifying. Like, you aren't assuming anything about them. You're getting to know them. You're getting to know their needs, their wants and dislikes, and you're able to avoid like having bad results by actually listening to a client before you even touch their hair. Like, I think one of the most jarring experiences is having like booking an appointment with a stylist that you know is like a master stylist, and they do good work, and they come up behind you and they grab your hair in a comb and they just start brushing and being like, so what are we doing today? It's like, that emotionally for me feels so like I don't know what to even say to that. Like, I'm coming to you. You're the hairstylist. Like, that's why I'm coming to you. I can tell you what I want, what I don't want, but like, I'm here because you're the professional. And I had that happen to me a little while ago, and I was like, this is what's wrong with the hair industry. Like, this is the point where I really hate this experience. You do come for a 15-minute consultation, have the stylist not even introduce themselves to you, ask questions, like, be personable, like, really feel like they care about you. Like, that didn't happen. Then book the appointment for 2 weeks later. They didn't even bother to write down any of the answers that I gave them to their questions they asked me. And they completely forget by the time I go in to have the hair service. And it's like, wouldn't you have just felt more prepared if you would have charged me for the consultation, like actually sat down, took notes, like got a thorough history instead of trying to keep it all in your head and just pretend that like you're doing a good job? because you're the salon owner and you hold all these titles, so that must equal like that you're a magician, you can just remember everything I said. No, like, just charge me for the consultation. I'll happily pay it because I know that you're actually listening to me and I'm going to get probably what I want, as opposed to this like really faux experience. And so, yeah, like, I would have paid for that consultation. I know other people that would pay for that consultation. People paid for consultations with me prior to their chemical services, and they were happy to do it. And then it just made the next appointment so anxiety free because I had a plan, I had a proper quote, I had a patch test done, I have a waiver signed, I have all of my chemical that I needed for this service. I know it's going to take me maybe 3 hours, and then I gave myself an extra 2 hours to do proper like protocols so that I'm not overlapping like chemical contamination. And so, yeah, you can do hair your own way, and you can get paid what you want to be paid for it that is equivalent to the work that you're doing. And so I just highly recommend like not staying in a spot where you feel really burnt out and like you're giving so much and it's not even worth it. Like, you don't need to work that way. You don't have to. I know the hair industry will make you feel like you have to, but you don't. People are looking for higher paying services. They're looking for quality. They really want their stylist to listen. People are loyal. If they find a good stylist, they will stay with them for years. And so you can be that stylist for people. Like, you can be that person that's charging what you want, having very gracious, kind, non-entitled clients. Like, my clients weren't entitled at all. And honestly, like, the people that I suspected might be a little bit more work, like, they ended up canceling. They never actually came and saw me. And so, yeah, I'm a fan of charging what you want to charge for your art, for your hair therapy services, because everyone else in the industry does. Like, in other industries, I mean. Like, aesthetic services, you can get eyelash extensions for $300. You can go get a massage that you paid $180 that, like, literally you get home and you find out you're getting audited or something, and that massage like benefit's completely gone. But you wake up with hair every single day, and so it's like the one accessory that you have for 24/7. It should be like one of the highest paying services that like people invest in. I don't understand really how we can't get past this as hairstylists of like charging actually what our services are worth, because people are getting so much more than just hair. They get your time, they get their emotional outlet. Like, if you've ever had a client say to you, I can't believe I just told you that, I've never told anyone that before, that's a good key that they're getting from their service something that like they don't actually get in their life, and you're providing that. So it's obviously worthwhile. If somebody can go get therapy and just have someone listen to them and not offer any tools for like $100-200, like, I'm sure that your hair service that you're providing, this emotional support, a safe space for people to vent, if that's happening to you, if people are like putting that on you, like, it doesn't have a consequence. Like, it's not like it doesn't have a consequence, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you take that energy home, you process it, it stays with you. It's not like the client is just talking to a wall. Your nervous system is responding to their nervous system. It's 100% worth whatever you want to charge. Yeah. So just think about that. People pay, you don't know what's in people's account. You can assume, hey, if I raise my price, this client's not going to be able to afford that. Like, time and time again, that has like proven wrong to me. I think, oh, that client is not going to want to pay $75 for their pixie haircut that they come see me every 4 weeks for. I think that. And then I see them pull out a Chanel blush at the end of their appointment that they do it. And I'm just like, well, they paid that. Like, they're picking up things like that are expensive. So therefore, like, I shouldn't probably be worried about like what I'm charging them. Like, I shouldn't have to worry what's in other people's bank account. I just have a service, they can pay for it. If you're worried at all about increasing your prices and clients leaving you, you can grandfather them in. It's just an idea. I've done it plenty of times when I've raised my prices. I'll keep my price, at this rate, or I'll offer a deal. Like, tell other people about, send me a client, your price will be this low. Like, you can do stuff like that. Offer a sliding scale appointment. That is an amazing option I feel like every salon should offer this, because it's kind of like this little mentality here. When you have a garage sale, you put out all your stuff, you put prices on it, and it's like, people will say things like, oh, that's too expensive. Oh, they want that? And you're just like, I'm across from a Goodwill, and my prices are cheaper, like, here, and people are complaining about, like, this photo with this frame is, you want $25 for that? What? Take all the prices off of things, and then you just say, make an offer, and it's crazy what people will offer you. Like, that frame photo that no one would pay $25 for, someone just came up and was like, I just actually want the frame, and I'll pay you $30 for it. It's weird. I don't know why that psychology seems to work for people, but it does. Like, if you give people the opportunity to just, like, pay what you can afford, or here's a sliding scale, you at least will feel good about them knowing the value of your service. Because if a client sees, oh, you're only charging me $50 for a haircut that you charge new clients $75 for, okay, like, the value of this haircut is $75. I'm only paying that. For some reason, it just really helps people value your work more. So if clients are coming, they're saying, oh, this was wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Usually clients that are having, like, issues with their hair that they're quite vocal about, because this happens to every stylist, those clients are paying so little for their services and are expecting the world. And, like, it could be because of what they're going through in their life, whatever they value, but it's good to just, like, those clients, give them a sliding scale. Let them know the value of your service, though, so that you aren't feeling taken advantage of and like you are doing so much work and never making this person happy. You're also allowed to fire clients. You can do that. I've done that. I could do a class on that. Some personalities, just, like, after a few services, don't line up. It's very few and far between for me, but I have fired at least 5 clients during my career because it just, like, no, this isn't working. You have to value your work yourself, and before the other clients can do it. So just sit back, look at your services, and really, like, think, what do I do in this service? Like, what are the steps that I do to provide value? And you will be shocked at, like, oh, like, I do all this mathematical work, all this preparation, then all this, like, mental work behind the chair, creative work, plus emotional work. And you'll see the value is way more than $50. So if you're still charging, like, $50 for a haircut or less than that, like, really, like, don't compare yourself to other people in the salon. You're not other people in the salon. You do services your way, and you can adjust them how you want to do them. And you can provide value, and people will pay for it. It doesn't matter where you live. I am certain on that. There's always somebody that is willing to pay for a higher service. Does that make sense? Willing to pay higher services if you provide the value with them. And I've got so many ideas for this, and I tried a lot of them, and I know it works, and I know it doesn't work. And so, yeah. One of the courses that I have coming out that I'm just about to finish, I've been refining it for literally 4 years, is a consultation course, because I hate the way that consultations are done in the industry. I don't believe they can be done in 15 minutes. I believe there's a way of, like, starting out your client relationships that will set you up for success, that will make you feel like a professional, that will build trust within you and your client and make them feel comfortable that they're going to get a safe hair service. And so, yeah. I'm really excited to do this course with stylists. I'm going to offer it self-guided and have templates and questionnaires, and just really help you as a stylist be able to think of your services in a way more, I forgot the word, I apologize, but it'll help guide you through your services that will reduce your anxiety and make you just feel so good, because there's nothing worse than being a hairstylist for like over 10 years and you still feel anxiety when you get a new client because you're doing your best and you want them to feel good, but you are rushed and things just aren't in a good workflow. So I'm all about helping people build the right workflow that will help keep them in this industry and like get a lot of joy from it, instead of like feeling so sick and burned out and overwhelmed and taken advantage of. Because I think we don't talk about it as much as we should, but I think hairstylists feel really taken advantage of. I've heard a lot that it's a thankless job, and it can be a thankless job, but it also can be so rewarding, and you can get a wage that you can live off of and help other people too, if you do it right from the start. Like, change the way you work to not be this traditional way that salons work that is really broken and unsafe. Like, you can build, people pay for that consultation, they will pay for the patch test, which helps cover your legal liabilities. Like, same day services shouldn't exist. They're illegal. Like, really, when you break it down, it's illegal to serve someone the same day on a chemical service. If you haven't done a patch test, you are legally liable. And for some reason, hairstylists and salons don't want to talk about their liability with patch testing, and people skip it. But it should be done with every chemical service. And so you can build that into a consultation. You can pamper people, make them feel comfortable, answer their questions. You can get to the nitty gritty of what people actually need and get a game plan. Like, you can plan out someone's hair year if you do it this way. And you won't have anxiety when the client comes in for their chemical service. You're not going to be rushed. You're going to have your workflow. You're going to be prepared. You're going to be hydrated. You're going to take care of your own bodily functions, and you are going to support that client and get paid like a really good wage, which you should be paid for. So that's what I have to say for that. 21 minutes long. But I hope that helps people that are maybe struggling with like undercharging, that are feeling terrible raw behind the chair and maybe want to quit because it's just not working for them anymore. But yeah, support your own emotional health. Don't invalidate yourself. Your services are super valuable, and like, if your clients don't know that, you can teach them.